Hi guys, it's Chris Ewing here, owner of the Caledonian Braves. This week's a special edition of Behind the Braves. We're going to go for a walk in the park, we're going to have a wee chat and hopefully you guys get to know a bit more about myself. So yeah, well, I've lived in Paris for 17 years. I'm initially from Glasgow, Pollock, south side, so I managed to get out of Pollock and lived in Paris for the last 17 years. I got my French nationality just last year, and this is the first time I've been back since last March, so it's been a year and a half. So it's strange a wee bit to be back this time, to be honest, you know. But it's always fantastic to come back to Glasgow. It's, you know, my Glasgow boy at the end of the day, and always will be, no matter where I'm in the world. I have actually seen the first few episodes. Obviously I live in Paris. It's the first time I'm back in a year and a half into Glasgow, so it's kept me going, getting to know the players a wee bit, because I haven't met the majority of the players until last night. So it's good, you know. When obviously I created Caledonian Braves, the idea behind it was to try and create a club that was open, inclusive, and try to get fans from all over the world inside the club, if you like, you know. So obviously things like Behind the Braves and getting to know the players and getting in the dressing room and things like that, and bringing that kind of environment to people's homes, if you like, was what we tried to do from the outset. So behind the episodes of Behind the Braves obviously goes a long way to doing that, and feedback's been great so far from people that have seen it. I mean, it's not really a risk having young players, far from it, you know. It's probably more of a risk bringing in experienced players and paying them more money to underachieve, essentially. Well, it's funny actually, because last night I was at the game. It was the first game I've been at. Fortunately, I was not lucky enough to see some of the games streamed live, but Reece Armstrong's been doing really well. These young guys, and he's not the only one in the team, and we've got lots of quality and young guys who've been, you know, good young players, played at a good level, that just need an opportunity again to crack on and come into an environment where they can really enjoy their football again. Well, the recruitment process is Ricky asks me how much money he has to go and spend, and I tell him, well, whatever you think it is, it's half of that. And then he goes and he just uses his network and his friends within football. We get a lot of trialists coming in, but Ricky's a really good coach, and is a good, you know, good eye for a player, particularly a young player. And I think again the idea is that when the players come in on trial, I mean, any player I've spoken to when I've been back just last night, all seem to be really enjoying it, and that's the key thing. Do you know what I mean? It's football and we want to be winning games and all this kind of thing, but if you're not enjoying it, then what's the point? Do you know what I mean? When I signed pro as a young lad at Motherwell, you know, I stopped enjoying it, because I went from being best player in my school team to being a very average player in a good team. But the average age of the squad's 22, so young guys, do you know what I mean? And they're all pals, they'll get together. So it's nice, you know. It's nice for me to see, and it's certainly nice to see what we've developed over the last couple of years. Obviously COVID's been a challenge, you know, but we've actually done really well, because we managed to recruit a lot of players for this year, so we'll have like 70 students coming over. But now it's Brexit that's causing the problem, so the guys are waiting on their visa. We've had a few visa refusals this week, which is quite stressful, so we have to deal with that and reapply, and until they're all actually here in Scotland, it's always a bit of a stress, but it is what it is, you know. We have to just deal with that and find solutions like everything else. Coming back last night and you're seeing some young boys at the game with Caledonian Braves tops and their parents and things, it's amazing really for me to see that. You know, it blows my mind to see how far I guess we've came. And that was kind of one of the criticisms that we used to get labelled at was we don't have a fan base, we don't have a community, and now we can actually see that we are growing. We do have a fan base, you know, there are guys coming to the game to support us. I mean, essentially, I think I'm the only guy in Scotland, maybe the UK, but certainly Scotland, who's actually created a football club that has gained SFA membership to actually play in a senior league. So if you were to ask anybody out there, how do you actually create a fan base? You know, you create a club, okay, you place it in the central belt, how do you actually go ahead and get fans to come? Particularly when you've got Rangers and Celtic in your doorstep, and then closer to North Lanarkshire you've obviously got Motherwell, you've got Hamilton Accies, you've got Albion Rovers, Clyde, so there's so many clubs that you're competing for, if you like, for fans to come. So in 2020, 2021, how do you actually do that? So the idea was to try and use you know, internet and, you know, digital marketing. So the idea was to obviously launch the app, get fans from all over the world and create a community. Strips, yeah, actually the strips was part of the vote. I mean, that's, you know, the fans always love that kind of thing. You know, we'd obviously did the logo a couple of seasons ago. The name was a big one at the start, which was great as well. But strips is something we can do every year, I guess, you know. And fans generally love that. So we work with a company called Play, which is a design agency specialising in football design and here in Glasgow. And they actually designed a number of strips for us that we obviously, as you know, put to the vote. And those, obviously, the vote closed a couple of months ago, and the strips just came in this week from Italy. So they get bespoke made in Italy, Macron in Bologna. and they just arrived in Edinburgh this week, so we're going to do a photo shoot this weekend to launch the strip, so I know that a few of the players will be looking forward to that, because I think a few of them fancy themselves a wee bit as models, Big Jack, McDowell and a few of the others, I think. But aye, that's exciting, and obviously, that's I guess what makes us a wee bit unique, that fans can actually design and vote in the strips. I know there's obviously things like the price, what we're going to charge. That's been a bit of a debate actually, because obviously that's one way where we can assure some kind of income coming into the club, is charging fans to come in, whatever it is, £6 or £8. But it's also the feedback that what we're doing at the moment is a donation. Works quite well, so it doesn't, if you can't afford to pay, you don't pay, you just come in and watch a game of football. So I quite like that idea. I don't know if there's any other club doing that. So I would be quite keen to try and keep that if we can, but ultimately it's the fans that will decide that. Obviously the idea is to give fans a vote, and I get an email through this morning because in the app there's a section where fans can propose a vote, and one of the fans proposed the vote that we put a sign up in the stand that people in the seating area should be seated and not stand up because it blocks the view of people sitting in. So I know I'm all about giving fans a voice and voting, but I'm not sure we need to take that one to a vote. I think we could just maybe ask the guy at the front to sit down, maybe. It was debatable if he played, but yeah. No, he was like the kind of father figure. So he's made the natural transition between player to coach. Last year he was kind of player-coach unofficially, if you like, because he was always kind of like the mentor, and the guys would go to him, and he was the go-between between Ricky and the dressing room, basically. So it's good for him as well to officially, kind of hang up his boots, if you like, and become an assistant manager and start his coaching career, because I think he has a lot to offer the game. He's a really likeable guy. He's got a lot of good ideas. Really positive, really positive, and I think we really need that. All football clubs need that kind of positive attitude and positive vibe, and he's got a lot of good advice and experience to give, particularly to our younger players. So he's a great addition this year. To challenge for the title, you're right what you say about the league getting stronger, and it's only going to get stronger. You get so many. That's a great thing about the pyramid system, is it gives clubs incentive. And clubs that want to be ambitious, it gives them that opportunity to go and get their club licence, get their SFA membership, and there's that kind of elusive light at the end of the tunnel to get into League Two. It's a small light, but clubs, and particularly with the West of Scotland, you just look at some of the quality and some of the kind of ex-junior teams, if you like. So over the next 3, 4, 5 years, those clubs will start to filter into the Lowland League. And you just have to look at some of the success that the East of Scotland teams have had as well, particularly Celtic Hearts, who've done fantastically well. You get Bonnie, you get Bo'ness as well in the league. So it is only going to get stronger. So how do we compete with that? Particularly when we don't have the same budget as some of the other clubs that have been around for 50, 60 years. We have to be innovative, we have to think a wee bit outside the box. But again, it's about players. It's about 11 or 15 guys in the matchday squad, or 16 guys in the matchday squad that have to go and win games. So the idea is to try and create that, like we talked about earlier on, that culture where they believe in each other, they believe in themselves. Beep, beep, beep. No comment. No, listen, I was very, I think again we're quite a unique club. Maybe I'm, a wee bit different. I have a different way of thinking. Possibly the fact that when I set up Edusport Academy to get to Caledonian Braves, we've had to almost literally fight for everything. But certainly, when I look back to when I set up Edusport Academy, it was very much Marmite because it was French footballers. Not a lot of people took to it in Scottish football. Some people liked it because it was new and innovative, and a lot of people disliked it for those exact same reasons. The SFA refused membership the first time, so I had to fight my corner and go up to the SFA. I was invited up there and I had to plead my case why Edusport Academy should become members of the SFA, which finally we got, which was great. We also applied to get into the Lowland League twice by application, refused twice, without giving us any reason, which I felt was poor. And I always thought, this isn't the way we should run football. We should be transparent, we should be open, we should be inclusive, we should be forward thinking, we should be ambitious, and we should be brave. We should be courageous. I was delighted when I was elected onto the board in May, and I promised clubs that I would act with integrity. I would be transparent, I would be inclusive, and I'd be ambitious. And unfortunately this time around I wasn't able to do that on the current board, so that's why, and I've said it before in an official kind of statement, if you like, and that's why I stepped down. So there's a lot of work to be done in the Lowland League, particularly more so now than ever with the pyramid system. It's a really exciting time for Scottish football. It's a complicated and it's a difficult time as well, because, like we said before, there's so many ambitious clubs coming up, and I feel that now we're at a point in Scottish football where there's a real opportunity to sit down and really try and find solutions for that, and that's why I was a bit disappointed, because I felt I was unable to really do that this time around. But who knows in the future, but certainly I wish the league well, and there's still a lot of work to be done. But I mean, all of that's in the past. So the idea now is a new season, we get a new squad, the app's been launched, and we try and build that fan base that we keep talking about, you know, and it's obviously it's going to take a bit of time, but you know, we're here to do that. We're here for the kind of long haul, I feel like, so it's exciting times for the club.